It's just 1/3. Like that can't be passive.
Yeah.
And it puts you down, right? Like you get sleep pressure. Like I gotta sleep. Well, when I was in training, in surgical training, we'd skip a night of sleep. What happens when somebody skips a night of sleep? The next night, they dream harder and earlier. If I can be so bold, I think sleep is for the brain. It's not for our thigh muscle. It's not for our liver. There are some metabolic changes. I'm not discounting all of it. But the real thing driving us to sleep is our brain. What does our brain do just vibrantly when we sleep? It's dream. So that's like my straight up answer about like that thing. That's not happening on accident, right? That's not a glitch. That didn't last through 30,000 generations accidentally. And so then the question becomes, if we have this vibrant 1/3 of our lives that we partially remember, sometimes it's an exciting journey, sometimes an erotic journey, sometimes it's a nightmare. Like, what's that all about, you know? And the way I've come to understand it is, first, giving respect to people who've tried to come up with some ideas, like it's a threat rehearsal. If we're running from a woolly mammoth in our dreams, we're better prepared for it during the day. What I would say is maybe. And when I say maybe or likely, it's out of respect for you and your listeners. I don't want to be that guy that comes in here and says, yes, no, about something as big and magical as dreaming. So threat rehearsal, maybe. Some people think it's a nocturnal therapist because towards the morning when we have more of our vivid dreams, the emotional balance, the valence they call it, tends to be more positive. Maybe. I like to think of it as something that sparks creativity because of what happens with the dreaming brain. The dreaming brain looks for looser dots to connect. It's imaginative by design. Logic is dampened down. So I think it's our creativity engine. And then the way I put it all together is with something straight up called use it or lose it that people know about when we talk about the brain, right? They say, hey, use it or lose it. We know if we don't use our biceps, they atrophy. But our day, if you look at the brain activation electricity, is so narrow. The brain wants to be efficient, right? Because it's an energy hog. It's only like 4 or 5 pounds, but it uses 20% of our blood. So the brain during the day to navigate the world, task on, outward, executive network logic wants to be efficient, driving down the 101 easily, going on the tube easily, not have to activate everything to get that done. If we only use those limited parts of our brain during the day and didn't have some way to high intensity train them, those would go derelict. We wouldn't use them and we may lose them. So I think in the biggest way possible is that dreaming process